Welcome to Bovine Bedlam. What is Bovine Bedlam, you ask? Well, if you remember last episode about a month ago, sorry about that, I built a diner. And in that diner, we sell steak. But, we currently don't have any steak. So, I may have gathered a few cows, and we're gonna make a little home for them. A home. Yes, a home. There'll be no problems at all with this place. It'll be a completely ethical abode for the cows. I swear. It won't be. Is this an excuse for me to make a brutalist building? Yes. Am I alright with that? Of course. Outliney. I just walked through the portal, and Horsolini, he's dead. There was a gas fireball, and there's a second one, and now I'm down here, but Horsolini is dead. Let's be real, I was kind of waiting for him to die because I wanted a better horse anyway, but this is still a very sad day. What I wanted to do was just stop by spawn and grab a few blocks, but now I'm just sad. And I also need a new horse. Why? What I actually wanted to talk about was this outline. There's a lot going on with this thing, I would argue. When we're talking about the brutalist style, we need a lot of shapes, because the walls themselves are not going to be very interesting. Right, it's very monotone colors. We can add a little grit in there, a lot of little windows or something, but when it comes to, you know, decorations, we're going to be limited on options. So if we're going to have any interest in this place, it's going to be with all these shapes. Now, I think a really important sightline for this place is this front view here off of the cliff. Now, this place, middle of nowhere, by the way. So it's not like anything's going to be developed around this. That being said, I think this angle being good would be neat. So I wanted a bit of an interesting shape here. That's why we got this crescent kind of thing. It doesn't make much sense. I think there's going to be a balcony coming out of this with like a CEO office or something up there, but really it's just there as a visual flair. Front entrance is going to be somewhere around here. I'm going to have the wheat be our garden. I think that yellow, you know, paler, not green color is going to look really cool. The biome I chose is also pretty interesting for this style because it's a very, very vivid grass color. So I can mess around with the grass and the surrounding foliage being super bright while the building itself is void of any color at all. We got front entrance here. We walk in. Some kind of lobby area, maybe a front desk here with some hangy lights. Walking up into this little junction. We got a back room. Maybe it's like a cafeteria for workers or an office space. I'm not quite sure what to do with this area yet. Then we got the long hallway, and this is where all of our functionality is going to be. You got the cow pit, which has already taken form. I need to add some lights in there, but this is what it's going to look like. And on the other side, we've got our furnaces, cookery station. Buildings of this style, also modern buildings, really like to have this big old rectangle. So I built a big old rectangle. But yeah, I think the only step moving forward is to get a bit more of a detailed outline and maybe put some walls up. But Tort, I hear basically everyone saying, this is really ugly. Yes, I know. Clearly, this is not the final product. We've got a palette that we need to paint with right here. Thought process, usually when I build things, I just do like a scaffoldy outline, like the edges, and that always results in my walls being real gradienty. Nothing wrong with that. I like how a lot of my builds turn out, but I just want to see what happens, specifically with this style, if I give myself a block palette and I have the walls already filled in and we just treat it like a painting. You know, like I'll use this wall for an example. We have dirt along the bottom here. The whole building, in fact, is gonna have dirt running everywhere. So I thought it would be good if we maybe ran that dirt up the walls a bit, added some texture variety on the ground. On top of that, you know me, I love my moss. I love my foliage. This place is going to be overgrown. So we've got to add moss spots like that. Oh, and look, a nice little window too. And there's one more little visual thing I want to add just to the painting itself. And I think that'd be some really nasty dirt streaks or some kind of sludge. I don't know. We got dirt down here and it's really brown. So I guess some toxic thing. I think it looks cool though. And when I add these patterns to the wall, you see we end up developing some pretty open blank spaces. And while I want to keep some of them, of course, I think it's also going to be nice to fill some of them out with some more details. Oh yeah, and foliage and all of that. There's a lot we can do here. I'm gonna start working on every other wall, and this whole thing's gonna be all detailed. I'm a big fan of this place. I don't know if I'm biased because I just stepped out of my comfort zone so much with this and it paid off or what, but it's super cool. What are you? But yeah, sticking with this gray color as my my main I don't know color in the palette really is something I typically wouldn't do. I like to work with a lot of extremes, either a two color palette or like super bright and super dark. Right? This is a build that has a lot less contrast, but I think that allowed for some really cool things. First of all, I got to play with saturation a lot. So we obviously have the moss spots and the dirt spots, but what's really nice is for detailing, if I wanted to highlight an object, I just make it out of spruce, right? So we got this little siding here. I'm not even sure what this would be on this equipment or whatever, or device, right? But it's just something there to point that out as something that exists. I think the building itself being toned down also really helps the wheat pop on everything else, as well as these end rods. End rods are not something I typically build with. They're super skinny and they're super bright, right? Really unique shape, really unique brightness, which makes the eye draw to them a lot. So it's really hard to have a build where there's end rods, where the end rods don't look like end rods. Here, it works out. So you've got that bright yellow and the white highlights on the wall, even at daytime, that really stand out because everything else is really subdued. I even had a trim up here on this thing that I ended up removing. It kind of looks dumb when you stare at it for too long, but just having that strip of spruce up there somehow really adds something. And of course, the BB up front. I was trying to add lighting to this somehow, like an end rod sticking out or whatever. I couldn't figure out anything that worked. If you have an idea, let me know. Super happy with this place. This wall and this whole side is a little bare, but that's fine. Not everything has to be hyper detailed. In fact, this building in general is pretty simple. You saw the entire workflow. It's make a bunch of blocks out of blocks and then change up all the blocks. And that's the cool thing about this game. You can get a very in-depth looking thing with not too much effort. And I don't know, maybe it's just that I'm gaining more experience and I know how to do things a little more efficiently. But this didn't take too long. And it's a really cool product. Something I would not have been able to make a couple years ago, that's for sure. I also moved the portal, as you saw, in the little reveal shot thing. It's over here now. I like this little setup. It's just meant to be tucked out of the way. I've got a bed here if I need it and an end chest. And I'm too lazy to move all the blocks I use for this place. So I threw a bunch of chests on the ground. Very early for the final reveal of a video, you could say. Usually these things happen like 14 minutes in or something like that. And what, we're 8 minutes in? But I've got some other things I want to do, some other things I want to talk about. Some of them are the past, some of them are the future. Let's get to it. Welcome to Spawn. A lot's happened in Spawn since the last time I showed it off. And if things look a little pixelated at any point. There's a lot of entities here. My recording gets a little scuffed. Sorry about that. But yeah, as I said, a lot has happened here. There's a lot to show off. First of which is this spawn portal. M's been working on a bunch of different nether paths. This is what it looks like right now. It's pretty cool. Everyone's getting connected, but of course plenty happened at the spawn village as well. Some of it from me. For example, this terraforming I did with Sate up there, and I'm really happy about it. We wanted to keep this sightline of the windmill, so most of it's pretty flat, but we got this little tree here that was copied from CC, another little tree up there, and this rock wall Sate really detailed out. It looks super good. Cole's little cave there. I built this bridge, and for some reason, I really like it. It's super simple, but I don't know, it's just like nice little detail tucked in the corner. Don't know what that scaffolding's doing there though. Anyway, you're probably wondering what this building is. See, part of the reason I'm like a month late to a backyard video is because I had an entire other one cooked up. And when I talked about the entity problem making my recording all yeah, the entire video was here. And obviously that's a problem. This place though, I'll show it off now, is Hold Your Horses. Not many people are using it yet. As you can see, no payments whatsoever, but hopefully that changes in the future. It's a horse stable. It holds horses. There's 3 stalls up here, and then we take the elevator down to the rest of them. It's a little prison-like, I know, but it'll get the job done. Hopefully, as everyone starts expanding out and they start building elsewhere, the horses will be used more, and people will buy spots here. There also may or may not be a giant mammoth I participated in building. There was like 8 of us and we did it in 2 hours. It was a mess. There was a lot of screaming. I'm sure some other backyard members will include footage from that. Make sure to go watch that. It was a lot. And yeah, I think that's about all I did in spawn on my end. There's also this little cliffside here that was developed more mainly by Sate, but I added a little dock down here so I could fish when I wanted to. The whole area is looking super cool. I like how dense it is with everything going on, and I hope people keep working on it even when they start moving away and working on their own personal projects, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about now. See, with the timeline of the server, it is around that time that everyone started moving out. In fact, about half the server, I would say, has already gotten some areas developed. And I promise you, I already got a lot of plans of my own. Hello, welcome to ground zero of future base, my base. Spawn is over yonder that way. I believe that's Jay's setting up on that hill. If you're wondering who's nearby, let me pull up the map. I believe Clover's gonna be out in this field. We've also got Sprink doing a lot already all the way down here. I believe Crispy and M are gonna be somewhere up here, and Maeriel's somewhere over on this island, but we are taking this whole Spruce Mountain, basically. This is genuinely such a perfect spot for what I want to do. I'm on a timer. There's zombies chasing me. But this whole thing, we're going to be converting. It's a lot of space. And I plan on replacing every single block here. Custom terraforming, custom everything. It's still going to be kind of sprucey as the theme, but I want to upgrade these trees, and I want to change it to a more fall-y landscape. There's a lot more details that could be said about the final product that I'm envisioning here. I'm going to save that for the next episode. That way there's something to look forward to. Let's just say I'm taking heavy inspiration from one particular thing, and I think it's going to fit perfectly in this landscape, as well as with my neighbor Clover. I have actually already been out here quite a bit. If I ever needed anything from a cave, this is where I'd go to, because I wanted to work on lighting everything underneath. And as you can see, I've done quite a bit of that, except for right there. So yeah, is there anything else to talk about? Not really. I guess that's it. Kind of a shorter video, which sucks given the fact that I haven't uploaded in a long time, but I promise you, we're going to be uploading a lot more soon. There's 2 reasons as to why I haven't been uploading as much. One of them graduating. I'm graduating in like a month from college. So, yeah, that's been a lot of work. And on top of that, I've got the Days End series, which I still love, but there's one episode left, and I really just want to get it done. It's been a lot, mentally taxing and all, very draining. I'm excited for it to be over. It's all worth it, don't get me wrong. Love that series, and I probably will do it again if it happens again, and I'm invited. But yeah, it's been a lot. And once that's over, we're going to be so back. We're officially starting the mega project. I'm super excited. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe and do the things. For now, it's bye-bye time. Bye. Bye.